Hey there, horror lovers. My name's Christina Bergling, and I'm going to read you a story. I'm coming with one more Horror with Heart, which is one of my horror stories that has a romantic or sexual undertone, tension, theme, whatever. So, for the last one, we're going to come to my newest book, Followers, which came out at the end of last year. Followers is about loving the horror genre, and Sidney, Um, Sydney loves the horror genre, mostly online via social networking, blogs, websites, what have you. And in that, she connects with and collects a lot of followers. So some of those relationships develop and some of them transfer into real life, for better or for worse. So I'm going to read sort of a first date where she actually meets one of her online followers in real life. "When was the first time you saw this movie?" Adam said as they sat. The thick seats folded down and creaked under their weight. Dim lights peeked out from the thick curtains lining the wall. The wide gray screen loomed anticipate in front of them. The actors ran madly up and down the aisles, shrieking as their steps ground popcorn into the flattened carpet. They paused to mock and interact with the patrons. Magenta swung her wide hips as her frizzy hair bounced on her shoulders, dragging her feather duster over any face within reach. Riffraff loomed in a corner, leaning out menacingly as new people entered the theater. "Sleepover in junior high," Sydney answered between bites of popcorn. "What was your first impressions?" "I was confused, but very intrigued. You?" "My mom showed it to me, of all people." Adam smirked. "How old were you?" "Early high school, I guess." "That seems weird," Sydney giggled. It was, but my mom was weird. The best kind of weird. A horror lover. I have some strange stories. I'm surprised you never live tweeted this one. Everyone live tweets Rocky Horror. The lights dimmed around them as the massive lipsticked mouth consumed the screen. Sydney settled back into her chair and drew the bucket of popcorn to her chest. She felt Adam settle beside her. He leaned closer and his arm lined up along hers. Her nerves ruffled in her chest. The movie crashed and sang through the theater as the crowd cheered, laughed, and shouted. "Damn it, Janet" echoed against the walls until the floor seemed to vibrate. Sydney lost herself in the familiar scenes and shouting of the right lines at the appropriate times. She only kept track of how close Adam was to her as they watched and participated. Once they finally burst from the human theater, the cold edge to the air was welcomed. Sydney's cheeks ached from laughing, and her voice felt ragged in her throat. "How could your boy Wes not be into that?" Adam laughed as they walked. "I have no idea. There's clearly something wrong with him." "More wrong than enjoying it as much as we did." The streets of Telluride were quiet, the sounds of horror lovers shuffling off to their lodgings fading into the dark. The farther they moved from the theater, the heavier the quiet of the night weighed down on them. Sydney gathered her hoodie tighter around herself, folding her arms in tight to trap her in her own warmth. Adam kept his steps near her until they reached the path again. "This is where I turn," Sydney said, pausing her steps. "Let me walk you to your condo," Adam said as he turned to face her. "No, it's totally fine. This is Telluride." "Well, maybe there's not a psychotic serial killer, but there might be a bear or something," says the boy from the big city. "Here, let me walk you." Adam moved to start walking in Sydney's direction. "Nope," Sydney asserted. "I'm fine. We will meet before the first round of movies in the morning." So Sydney takes the white girl in the horror movie move of walking alone in the dark in the woods. So, you want to see how that goes and want to see what kind of follower Adam is, you'll have to read Followers and check out the links. But thank you for listening.